Welcome to the Sunshine Coast Real Estate Podcast, your go-to source for all things real estate on the Sunshine Coast of beautiful British Columbia. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or an experienced investor, we've got you covered. And now your host, Nathan Demers.
Good morning, Sunshine Coast. Today we're joined by Ali Yearley from Holywell Property Management. Ali's a 10-year property management veteran and long-term resident on the Sunshine Coast. If you live here, you've ever been late on your rent, she probably knows about it. Today we spoke about marketing strategies, tenant screening, emergency repairs, social media issues, short-term rentals. Man, we covered a lot of ground here. I definitely learned a lot. I hope you do too. Here's a little bit of that conversation. Hi, Ali.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I vaguely remember you managed one of our properties years and years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. About that.
That was a long time ago. You moved a couple times since then, haven't you?
Yeah, we're in Davis Bay now. So yeah, you've been all over. Oh, that's good. We like it here. Right next to the school. We got 4 kids, so they all just walk next door when it's time for school.
Nice. I don't think you had 4 kids yet.
No, I think we had like 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got a good memory.
Yeah, you were a great client. Good help.
Oh, good. Well, thanks so much for being on this show.
I've never done one of these before, so.
Relatively new at it as well. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm learning as I go.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. So
that makes 2 of us.
Okay,
I also
perfect.
don't know what I'm doing.
Excellent.
Do you have kids now?
No, well, I have 2 stepkids.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Yeah, my partner has a 7 and an 8-year-old.
Okay, it's about the same as ours.
They're busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They keep me on my toes, which is good.
No kidding. Yeah, 7 and 8. Yeah. Ours are 7 all the way up to 13 now. So
13, that's crazy.
yeah, time flies.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks again for being here. And so tell me your backstory. How did you get into property management? I think you're a longtime resident of the Sunshine Coast, right?
Yeah, I've lived here probably for about 18 years, but This month actually marks 10 years for me at Holywell, which is crazy to think that it's been a decade here. I've always had an interest in real estate, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted to be a realtor or not. And I actually started in a administration position with Holywell, and then quickly got my rental license. And then a few years later, got my strata manager license. So I'm actually doing strata management and rental management now. Wow. Yeah, it's busy and good.
After 10 years, you're still enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, I love the company I work for and the people, and it's great.
Cool. So tell me, for the listeners here, what does a property manager do? What exactly are your responsibilities?
Well, our main goal is to take the stress away from property owners. So we can find excellent tenants for homes, handle all of the maintenance, and it's basically like a stress-free way of having an investment property. So we kind of do it all. Really, you just have to wait for that rental proceeds to get deposited into your account each month is the goal.
Yeah. And so what are some common challenges that you face?
I mean, I would say the main one right now is that we have too many excellent tenants searching for houses. Yeah. So we're having to turn down a lot of people, which right now is probably the worst part of my job. We're having multiple applicants for each property and only one can be successful. So it's breaking the bad news would be the main challenge that we have right now is we need more housing.
I imagine you're turning down like 50 people at a time, I would think.
Yeah, we've had to set limits because that's heartbreaking. It changes kind of for each property, but generally the first 12 or so that come in, they'll get to view it. And if none of those pan out, then we move on. I don't like getting 50 people's hopes up for nothing. So we kind of have to change our strategy with that.
The slow no, they call it in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, we just need some more houses.
So how do you handle tenant screening?
So we guarantee our owners a certain credit score, which is similar to what the bank would look for a line of credit.
Oh, so you're able to pull credit?
Yeah, we run credit scores here. And then we do very thorough employment, landlord, and personal references. And then we've been around for over 20 years, so we have a pretty good handle on the coast. And there's 13 people in our office now. That's split between residential and strata, but based on everybody on our team, we have a pretty good handle on what's happening.
I guess we're a pretty small town too, so I imagine some applicants, you kind of half know them either through social media or just from having lived here.
Yeah, absolutely. We know lots, and we know the ones that we don't want to rent to.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we have a great handle on the coast.
So what strategies do you employ to maintain good relationships and to sort of reduce that tenant turnover?
Well, I mean, the homeowners are our clients, but we love our tenants. So we want them to enjoy and respect the home that they're living in. We want them to have a positive tenancy. So we reply to repair requests quickly. We have a really great circle of trades that we work with that respond very quickly to us. So we handle maintenance quickly. Somebody on our team is always reachable. I think we have great relationships with our tenants.
How do you handle difficult tenants when it comes up?
Well, it doesn't happen very often because of our screening process is quite tight. Probably less than 1% ends up ever having to go to an eviction. Yeah. If we're managing the property, we'll handle all of that for the owner. So we keep up to date with the processes with the residential tenancy branch and go to hearings and file all the paperwork. We'll do all of that. I mean, sometimes life tenants changes. You lose your job, you get divorced, things change, and sometimes you just have to deal with that. But again, it's a rarity, but we do handle that whole process if it gets to that point.
And this is kind of like not on my list of questions, but I've always wondered about this. Like sometimes there's some kind of like vitriol on social media directed towards property managers. Is that something you've had to deal with a lot? And if so, how do you deal with that?
I mean,
is that painful? I mean, is that
it's painful because we can't respond.
Right.
One, it won't do anything. Won't change it. It'll almost make it worse. There's a lot of misinformation out there about landlords and about property managers. And I mean, we manage right now about 200 properties, which is a fairly large portfolio. And we have lots of tenants that have been with us for many years. And I mean, there's a reason we've been around for so long. So some of the things that I see online sometimes, I just get a really big eye roll from me.
Yeah, I see that too. It's a seriously sensitive topic, especially here on the Sunshine Coast. Like if I post anything, even remotely related to rentals, got to be careful because
which is unfortunate because you want to have the conversation and maybe clarify some confusion amongst people. Just can't do it on Facebook.
Yeah, totally. So how do you handle emergency repairs? Something comes up in the middle of the night or...
Well, we have a 24-hour emergency line. So one of our managers is always carrying that. Lately, it's been me a lot. So it doesn't matter what time you call, somebody will answer it. And then we also have the trades that we're very close with that are able to jump in the middle of the night for a flood or something like that as well. We are covered that way. We're always reachable.
Going back to tenant screening for a second, what would you recommend to people that are, say, trying to do it on their own? What's the best things they can look for? What are some red flags as far as people trying to rent out their own spaces?
I mean, frankly, I just wouldn't right now. The state of the world is a little bit chaotic, as we all know, which impacts everything. So we have some new owners purchasing homes on the coast that have tried doing it on their own and have chosen badly, and then they come to us for help. And that's not generally something we want to be doing. It's, I guess, easy for me to say because it's my business, but it's definitely worth at least the placement fee to have the screening and that part done. Even if you want to manage it yourself, there's that option. I don't recommend the owners find their own tenants right now. Just because there's so many people looking and people are sneaky.
I have rentals in Nova Scotia and I have a property manager. I mean, I'll have to because I'm far away, but even if I wasn't far away, having a property manager, I find it's just invaluable, even for that just psychological buffer between me and the tenant. And
you don't have to make those decisions. And even if you want to manage it yourself, of course, I want to manage your property ongoing. But if you just want to do that placement, I recommend you do that. The fee is half of a month's rent plus GST. So it's well worth it as an option. So I don't recommend anybody do it by themselves right now.
I wouldn't want to do it myself, but I know that a lot of people do. So personally, I kind of look at it like it's a business. So why wouldn't I hire somebody to do the parts that they're an expert at? But anyways,
it's risky for sure.
Yeah. I think people often think that they are a good judge of character and don't maybe understand how good of actors people can be when they're in desperate situations.
If you don't have the resources to do credit and things like that, you're missing a big chunk because it's not just a number, it shows their financial history. So you can see, and now it starts to show tenancy history on the credit reports that we get too. So we report to them positive tenancies. And so you use that part on it too, which is an added bonus.
So I'm able to pull credit reports as well through my mortgage business, but do you guys have a different type of credit report? I've never seen a tenancy history on a credit report.
Yeah, we use Red Check. And then it pulls from TransUnion and Equifax. But then they have an additional rent history section on there, as long as landlords are reporting on it, successful payments, and you can report fully on it, and it gives an extra.
Do many landlords use that system of reporting?
No, mostly property managers. So I've seen reports that show property managers in the city are using it as well.
Okay.
So another bonus of using a management firm.
Yeah. Geez, I've never heard of that. I've got one tenant that should probably be reported right now. But anyways.
Oh. I can send you some information on it.
Sure. I don't know if my property manager is using that or not, but it's never come up in conversation.
I'm not sure if individuals can sign up for it or not, but I can send you some info.
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay, so recently there's been a ban on short-term rentals in this town. Has that created the hoped for influx of long-term rentals, have you found?
I would say I've seen a very short influx so far.
Yeah.
I think there'll probably be more on the market soon within the next few months, maybe. We're definitely getting some more inquiries from owners wondering about it, but I can't say I've seen a huge change in that regard. I'm hopeful that there'll be more.
Yeah. Has it put downward pressure on prices at all?
Not so far. No, not so far. I'm hoping for some more to come on the market because, as you know, less inventory, higher prices. Right. So when we get some more properties, hopefully the rents can come down a little bit because they're reading quite high at the moment.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen as much of a change as I thought there was going to be.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah, I wondered about that as well. So it's interesting to hear you say that. Okay, so what's the best way to market a property for rent, have you found?
We use our website. So we update it immediately as new listings come in. People can also sign up for email notifications. So they'll get an alert every time that there's a new listing. It won't necessarily be within what they're looking for, but it kind of prompts you to take a look at the website every day. Okay. We also use Craigslist is great. You do have to be careful on Craigslist. And then we also do Facebook, Instagram, and then we have a running ad in the Coast Reporter. Okay. So we're kind of everywhere. I would say if you're moving to the coast looking for a rental, you're coming to Holywell. Yeah. Really, that's kind of the gist of it.
And, I see a lot of those ads on Facebook that is people moving to the coast and maybe don't understand the dire rental situation here.
Yeah.
Do you ever contact those people or?
We do. Yeah, we reach out a little bit. Also, we work with a lot of companies here on the coast. So if they're relocating here for work, then those companies are sending them to us. We've rented to RCMP officers, doctors, nurses, a lot of other professionals, as well as just families that are moving here. So we have our reach everywhere.
Okay. So this is kind of a crazy question because I don't know if vacancies are really an issue here, but how do you minimize vacancies with properties?
Yeah, it's not really an issue. It hasn't been for the last few years. We're probably sitting at less than 1% vacancy rate. Yeah, we're finding great tenants to fill these spots really quickly. We're not really dealing with it.
Is that 1%? Is that just kind of like picky homeowners, or how do you even have any vacancy?
No, I mean, it's particular, right? It depends on the property. Right. So you get a short-term rental fully furnished for the winter, that's going to be a little bit harder to fill a spot. So I would say that's probably where that 1% is sitting at very specific properties.
Okay.
But if it's a large family home or a suite, you got lineups for them. And that's for the last few years.
Yeah. So what's a way that a homeowner can improve their house in such a way to sort of maximize a little more rent? What sort of improvements have you seen that would sort of command a higher rental price?
I mean, not a lot. So if you buy a home that needs a little bit of love, I don't think you need to do an entire kitchen reno. Right. If the countertops are in really bad shape, maybe just replace the countertops, and paint and flooring can really freshen it up. Yeah. I don't think you need to do an entire reno to get it rented, but you want to present it in a clean and maintained manner. So if that requires a little bit of work, you're going to see that return quite quickly.
Okay. And then what factors should property owners consider when deciding on rental rates? I mean, I guess you sort of know the market so well. I imagine you sort of suggest, here's what you can probably get for this. Is that basically the end of the story?
No, it's a little bit contentious. So really? Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen a whole bunch of people moving here from Vancouver during the pandemic, especially, which brought the prices up a little bit. And then, of course, increased mortgage rates are making it a little bit more difficult for owners. And there's a little bit of a misconception that you're going to get that mortgage amount in rent. So you have to find that balance between the cost to the owner and then the rental market that our community can support. So definitely recommend the owners give us a call and we can do a no obligation evaluation on the house for the rental market before they buy.
Do you mean to tell me that you have homeowners coming to you that think that the rent's going to cover their full mortgage payment on a new?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So that's where it gets a little iffy because we don't necessarily have the market to support that. We don't have the new mortgages that are coming out now. We don't have the rental market, and I'm not sure that we ever will.
I'm not sure we have for a long time, even before the pandemic and everything went crazy.
Yeah. So I just wish people would call us and talk to us about their potential purchase, and then we can give a realistic amount that they're going to see for their rent.
Okay, so what advice would you have for somebody that wants to work with a property manager? Is there a way to make that whole, transaction a little easier, a little simpler, a little smoother?
Yeah, it's really easy. Give us a call. Give us a call in our office. We can set up a meeting right away. There's no obligation. We have some great information. You can even reach out via email. We can send our agreements. If the property was just purchased, we can look it up online and give you a rental estimate by looking at the pictures. Of course, I like to view the homes myself. So I meet with the people. One of my favorite parts of my job is meeting with new owners and tenants. So I'd prefer that over email.
Right.
But it can honestly be really easy and really quick. So it can be very fast.
So it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of a strategy for the end user.
Yeah, absolutely. Client. We move quickly. So we can talk to you, get to the property, get the photos, get it online in less than 24 hours. So it can all happen very quickly. Okay,
right on. And so where can people find out more about you or about Holywell?
On our website. Okay. So it's holywell.ca. It is spelt HOLYWELL.ca. So it's pronounced different than it's spelt, just to keep people on their toes. Holywell.ca has lots of information. Again, we're on social media too. You can call our office. Somebody's here 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. There's lots of information. My email is ali@holywell.ca. And you can shoot me an email and I can send anybody some information.
I'll put all of this in the show notes as well afterwards.
Perfect. So. That sounds great. Yeah, we're reachable. We're here to help make people's lives easier, both tenants and owners.
Okay, right on. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. If you'd like to learn more about Ali and what she can do for you and your investments, you can reach out to her at the contact info provided in the show notes. If you'd like to learn more about how rental properties can set you up for financial independence, or at the very least, a very cushy retirement, even in a market as expensive as ours, you can reach out to me anytime. Anybody that knows me knows rental properties are my jam. I can go on all day about it, and if you reach out, I probably will. Till next time, folks.
This is an I Love Mortgage Brokering production.